Hi, my name is Elliot, and The Brother's Son is the text to be discussed in this presentation. The Brother's Son was released on Netflix on the 4th of January 2024. This text was chosen as it was one that I had enjoyed prior to the unit. The producers and cast contain many members of the Asian diaspora, and its style is well suited to exploring concepts from Module 2. This presentation will utilize concepts of hybridity, cosmopolitanism, and transnational proximity as frameworks to study how this text links with its audience. Each concept will be approached in turn, providing specific definitions as a means of understanding this production. We now explore the brother's son through the lens of hybridity, proving it a suitable apparatus to engage with media beyond K-pop. Jin and Ryu define hybridity in K-pop as playfulness accompanying the conversions of multilingual ingredients. When connecting with the audience, the barriers between cultures are minimized if the text employs hybridity in creation. Right from the outset, the series playfully blends different cultural elements. The character Charlie is seen in his futuristic Taipei apartment, watching a British baking show, listening to American music, just before a hyper-violent fight scene and members of the Triads arrive, speaking Mandarin. The synthesis of culture and language in the opening scene imprints a hybrid watermark on this text, clearly designed to entice a diverse audience to continue watching. When Bruce encounters the nightclub gang in Los Angeles, the leader is dressed like a member of K-pop group ITZY, with a demeanor that switches from cute to threatening in an instant, playfully blending the cute innocence reminiscent of K-pop with a more dangerous and threatening genre. The show includes Korean American characters and references to K-Town. These allusions speak of the producers aiming to emulate the success of the Korean wave and extend that hybridization to something new for the viewers to engage with. Much like English mixing in K-pop, The Brother's Son employs Mandarin mixing throughout the series, where English is the central language and Mandarin is on the periphery. This hybrid linguistic approach broadens the appeal beyond America to members of the Chinese diaspora globally. We now shift our focus to cosmopolitanism as a framework to discover how this text connects with its audience. Considering the many facets of cosmopolitanism, the assertion of cultural plurality promoting difference, and that receptiveness to other cultures can affect change through engagement in media, will serve as this framework's definition. The show weaves through an array of themes, from the smaller cultures of family, tradition versus modernity, to navigating cultural difference between nations. They handle this exploration through balanced commentary and humor that encourages openness to and the plurality of culture. Shifting from Taipei to Los Angeles, Bruce is returning home from work and removing his Converse All-Stars before entering the living room, carefully placing them on the shoe rack. Later in this same episode, Charles fights in that kitchen where he seems more concerned with his attacker wearing shoes inside than the immediate danger. Through satire, the audience is told that cultural difference should be celebrated. The classic American shoes correctly removed in line with tradition, and Charlie's literal fight to maintain that tradition while in the US comments on cultural plurality. Eileen prefers her Chinese American network to modern technology and Charles's violent methods. From mahjong to second-hand clothes stores and hairdressers, she quickly uncovers the identity of this attacker. The viewer is shown that the digital culture doesn't always trump traditional methods, providing insight into the complexity of diasporic communities. The maintenance of culture, the acceptance and constructive elements of cultural difference are drawn to the forefront of the audience's mind when digesting this text. The next conceptual framework, in contrast to cosmopolitanism, will draw on the global similarities of the human experience in delivering meaning to the audience. When discussing transnational proximity, Jin states that this is not based on linguistic or geographical cultural affinities, but on the universal uniqueness that people, in particular global youth, identify with in the early 21st century. To know and experience the world from a character's perspective, the audience will be aided by empathetic responses. Bruce's character development during the series is one that links with this universal uniqueness. He's working nights as a Lyft driver, exhausted, broke, managing family expectations, and struggling to pay his school fees, a situation that many youths have experienced across the globe. Beyond this, the show explores Bruce's masculinity through the discovery of his family's connection to gangs in Taiwan. This may be an experience unfamiliar for many viewers, but one that holds a place in the imagination of popular culture. His mother describes him as skinnier than a girl and you're a soft, kind boy, while his brother Charles is stoic, dangerous, and has risen to notoriety in the triads of Taipei. Bruce has been insulated and grown up in the US. These comments and comparisons encourage the viewer, particularly males, to question themselves. How would they react in the same situation? And what is a real man in modern society? In other words, imagining life through Bruce's eyes via shared understanding, empathy, and universal experiences of the world. The show endeavours to resolve these questions of masculinity for the viewers later in the series when Charles levels with his brother, stating, "You're a lot tougher than a lot of supposedly hard guys in Taipei." Bruce's kind and loyal nature is not a burden, but something of great value to the world around him. The series aims to provide a universal viewing experience, and this has been demonstrated through the study of transnational proximity. The three confluent definitions employed in this analysis converge in The Brother's Son. The show blends culture, genre, language, universal uniqueness to connect with a global audience, cultural plurality through openness and a celebration of difference. The concepts of cosmopolitanism, transnational proximity, and hybridity have proven useful frameworks in the study of this text and how it relates to its viewers. In spite of The Brother's Son receiving reasonable reviews, this show will not continue beyond the first season. This may be an indicator that the text has failed in its attempt to appeal to audiences outside the American market. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation.